Dermot has a new walking structure. Let's get into it. First off, I switched out his collar from the chain link to the Bully Billows collar. It's got a handle and I can sit it really high on his neck. I love it. I've got city leash, 15-foot leash, drool rag, poop bags, vest, and a tree bag. To start out his walks, I have enough structure that he can stay by my side without pulling ahead of me, but I give him a lot more freedom. So basically I get to this grassy area where he can sniff a lot, and I utilize the 15-foot leash and his city leash right here. His 15-foot leash, I basically will let him explore until he gets to the very end of the lead, and then once it's completely taut, I recall him. So I'm working on recall while I'm giving him a lot more freedom. And the whole premise of this for me is that the first part of our walk, he gets to explore, he gets to interact with his environment because he is a nervous dog. And so I want him to be a lot more confident in his ability to interact with his surroundings. Right here, we just practiced a recall. I'm not getting mad at him for not coming immediately. I'm just rewarding him. I've been trying to focus a lot more on just positive reinforcement whenever we're outside. And then as soon as I get some eye contact, I immediately let him go again. Right here, you can see an example of me needing him to be a lot more structured. Whenever we go across the street, I'm using my little city leash. I want him to be right beside me. He knows that he's going to get freedom right there. As soon as we get some eye contact. This part of the video, Dermot is actually triggered. And I didn't realize it for a second because I've only started doing the 15-foot leash pretty liberally in our walks as of last week. And so I didn't quite recognize that this was a trigger for maybe 30 seconds. There's actually a dog that's quite a ways down, but he can see it and I just haven't noticed it yet. So you'll notice that instead of very calmly pacing forward like he was before, he's going everywhere. He's going to the very end of the lead. I try recalling him and he ends up ignoring me. It takes him a long time to get back to me. I give him a couple of pops on the leash here just to say like, hey, I've asked you to do something. You know that I've asked you to do something and you're kind of ignoring me at this point. I'm not doing super hard or by any means. I'm just reminding him, hey, I've asked you for something and you're not really acknowledging me. And at this point, since I have now given him a reminder with lead pop and he's still not listening to me, I'm like, oh, shoot, he's triggered by something. What is triggering him? And I finally get him back right here. So he's just being heavily rewarded. And he does a nice little shake off right there to get rid of some of his stress. But right after that moment, Dermot did end up having a reaction to this dog. It was a pretty big one. The owner wasn't really paying attention, was on his phone, and his dog had a retractable leash, so he had a lot of freedom to get pretty close to us, even though we were quite a ways away. So both me and Dermot had to have a moment where we both regulated ourselves. Me a little bit more so than him because I was trying to stay really, really calm. And my brain needs an outlet when that happens and I'm really stressed. So right here, this is the end of the walk. This is a part where I'm trying to ask a lot more structure from Dermot because normally he's had a lot of time to sniff and he's normally pretty bored with his environment. But because we had so many possible triggers today, it wasn't perfect, and he's not perfect right here. And I know that it's because of his triggers, but he's still doing pretty well. And so far this is working for us.